I respect her because she backs everything up with data. Are you just sitting there like criticizing? That does not add value.
They're called reply girls.
Hi.
Hey.
Welcome to Reply Girls.
I am so excited to be here, and I'll tell you why. I have seen people who have been in space for 11 years. I've been manifesting to be here, and here's little old me on the show. My Twitter bio says, multimedia content producer at Cointelegraph, LC, which means Lens Chain Maxi, ex-Bank of America, SheFi.org, Boys Club World. Views are my own.
Okay, so first of all, let's talk about your little friend.
This is my son.
This is
His name is Lenny.
This is my child. This is my adopted child for today.
I love him. He's so cute.
They're a huge value add. Tell me about Lens and what you love about being in that ecosystem.
Yeah, so the first time I heard about Lens was at DevConnect at the SheFi Summit in Istanbul. And if I remember correctly, it was either MP who was there or maybe it was Christina Beltramini. And they said, oh, you should mint your handle, like get it now. So I did that. And I minted my handle in about 2023 or something like that in the winter, but I never posted anything. And this is so fated, like this is such fate. Like in the summer, ETHCC last year, last minute, I found out that Vitalik was going to the AFK event thrown by Lens. And I was like, oh, it's on my bingo card to have a selfie with Vitalik. So I went and I didn't have a ticket. So Manuel Zur is like sitting on the ground, chilling, vibing outside. He's like, dude, have my ticket. So I take his ticket and I walk up to the entrance. And there was this guy there. And I showed him the ticket. He's like, so you're going to come in with a ticket that's already been used and trying to convince me that you're just coming in? Is that what we're doing? And I was like,
oh no.
Please, can I go? He was like, okay. And I was like, thank you, Angel. Long story short, I saw Vitalik. I did not get the selfie, which is okay, something to strive for. And they had a shopping experience. So like, for anyone in the space, like if you have not encountered Avara merch, Avara is a company that runs Lens, Family, Aave. It's couture. It's like best of the best.
Yeah.
And I got this t-shirt and it said Tend Your Digital Garden. And I took it, like I put it in my backpack, nothing happened. And later on, when I was in Sweden, I was living in this like little village, super random, like on a lake, like super green, like absolutely naturey. And one day I saw the shirt in my suitcase and I was like, hey, this feels kind of vibey. Let me create some content. And I took a couple pictures with the Lens t-shirt, and then I started posting on Lens through a app called Orb, Orb Social on App Store and for Google, whatever not iPhone is. After I started getting a lot of love from Jessie Jean, like Paris, Dani, like they were reposting my stuff, like people were minting it, sending me crypto, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I had been on Instagram since 2014 and for my full-time business since 2020, and that had never happened. It was always like such like flex and posturing, and it was like kind of fake. So I immediately loved the Lens community. And so I get very obsessive, like for anyone watching, like if you know me, I'm very obsessive. So I started posting every day. And within 6 or 7 months, I hit 21,000 followers on Orb.
Wow.
And it was just such a fun time. And I've stayed on Lens this whole time because I've made friends. I mean, I'm here at ETH Denver with a couple of them. Jessie Jean's here, Juanpi's here, like some of my good friends.
Shout out.
So
many shout outs here.
I'm seeing so many of them in Paris for Paris Blockchain Week soon. And just the leadership at Avara and the Lens team has been so incredible, so encouraging, so welcoming that I was just like, I can't really look at any other app. And like people ask me like, are you on Farcaster? I'm like,
you're like, couldn't be me.
Yeah, not me, not a Farcaster girly. I'm a Lens girly to the core. That's why I call myself a Lens Maxi.
I love it so much because I feel like what you did was take a playbook that has been developed and like seen a lot of success in Web 2, which is just consistency, making content that's relevant, like reaching out with brands, like collaborating with brands, and you brought it to Web 3. And it's kind of interesting, like there are a lot of people that are posting a lot, but they're more posting for their brand or whatever. Like there's not a lot of like really lifestyle content creators, and I feel like you managed to just nail it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That means a lot. I didn't really intend to like create a brand on Twitter.
Yeah.
But I suppose like I've always been very open into sharing what's going on, like my views. And so people, I guess, kind of relate to it because if I talked about shitcoins all the time, like people get just bored of that. I'm talking about like, some of my highest like conversion or engagement photos or me at the gym being like, I'm here at 5 a.m. And a lot of people tell me like, hey D, like I'm living vicariously through your content. I couldn't make it to this and that conference, but I love watching you. And so I guess like I do it for the people.
I do think that is such a value add because you can't go to every conference, right?
I love it. So
Yay.
I sacrifice sleep. Like when I get back
That's your,
from
like,
a day, when I get back from a day of like doing stuff, I would sit on my bed and I would write because it's fresh in my mind. I use mostly my own photos, but then some photos of the brands that invite me to these events. And then in the morning before the day starts, like 6 a.m., I'm writing the recap so that when the event is over, say on Sunday, on a Monday, that recap drops so everyone who wasn't here could feel like they were. And like the idea with the recap is like, I'm going to be honest, like I'm sorry, but I don't really listen to the sessions.
Yeah.
I have not listened to a single session at this event here.
There's too many.
There's too many.
There's too many. I mean, like, it's good that they exist.
Yeah.
And I think going back and having that content, and for the people that want to find that content is good. But, yeah, you can't do it.
Yeah, they could just, like, YouTube that.
Yeah.
For me, like, I wanted to feel like your insider look. Like, oh, I spoke to Katie, and last night in front of Boys Club, she gave me a cookie. And, like, then we went to, like, West Ham, and, like, Tori came over, and she looked fabulous. And, like, she wore this and that. And then, like, Shani was wearing Gentle Monster. And, like, people want the juice. So I'm trying to give them some juice. We do love our hot takes, like our words only on X, but at the same time, when you see people show up like this with their faces sharing video, people are more interested, they're more engaged, and this is where things are going. So I think that in this respect, Web3, I'm sorry I said that.
Crypto, blockchain.
Crypto, blockchain is catching up to Web 2.
Yeah.
And I mean, look at Cointelegraph, for example. They hired me as a shorts, like video shorts creator specifically, because Gareth Jenkins, and a huge shout out to Gareth Jenkinson.
Shout out.
Know the name, love the name, look him up, my managing editor. He was like, I see multimedia as the future of crypto media.
Yes.
And so they want, I'm not the only creator, there's Maxwell Coopson, shout out, but we do videos and people resonate with that because you might read an article, but you don't feel like reading when you're brushing your teeth or like driving or whatever. So they want someone with a bit of a vibe to like explain it to them. So I think video is so powerful. If you follow me, you know that I post about being a Scorpio a lot.
This is the tea. This is good stuff.
And
okay, so what does that mean for you?
What that means for me is I'm very much like a straight shooter, very direct. Like sometimes I have to explain to people, if I said I'm not going to read your tarot cards, it's not because I don't like you, it's because I don't know you that well, and I give a piece of my energy when I read for you. So I've rejected, unfortunately, so many people. I've only read for like 3 people on this trip, but it's about being real and being direct and being like no bullshit. But the point is, like, if I'm always going to be polite, I'm always going to be nice.
Yes.
I am not a bully, I don't do mean girls, that is not the vibe.
Yeah.
But if I don't like you, I will not give you my energy, and you will know it.
I would love to finish up with a spicier question of like, in the space, what do you not have time for?
Okay, so one thing that comes to mind as an immediate no is when people just yap all the time and pretend like they're like super good at what they do, but where's the data? Like, where's the structure? I have to give a shout out to Emily Lai. I know you guys know her, she's a marketer, and every time she posts, she's like, hey, I did this, here's the numbers, this is what it was like before, this is how I did it, this is what I was like after.
Yes.
She does like her marketing role. She's got Marong Feng. Is Fang her last name? Morong. Anywho, she's here, and she's Emily's case study. She's her very good friend, and she's been here for like a week. And I know that Emily's going to report on this, like how it was for a new person to join, like what worked, what didn't. So like I respect her because she backs everything up with data. Are you just sitting there like criticizing? That does not add value.
I love that.
Thank you
so much. Is there anything else you want to like shout out, talk about what you're doing while we wrap this up?
Honestly, I mean, you guys know I'm on X, I'm on Lens. Please join Lens, use Lens. Lenny's expecting you, and he's so very cute. But one thing I'll say to your point, Katie, is like people for the most part have good intentions.
Yeah.
I find that a lot of people that work in blockchain, crypto are much less catty than people in Web 2. So like, please heed my advice. If someone did something that you did not like or upset you or whatever, go to their face, never go behind their back, because we do not forget. That shit stays. Go to their face, get the full story, get the context, just be nice to people. It's a small space, and even though we don't have to love each other, like all of us, we do work together, because remember, I don't want to talk about like enemies, but the real enemy or so is the system, is the status quo that exists in previous tech and previous data sharing, like all these companies.
Thank you so much for coming out of
Thank you for having me. Yay!